All right, good afternoon guys. So from the title of this, you can tell right away that I will be installing a fire extinguisher today in my car. The point of this is we'll be going over this little mount right here from Killer Koncepts by my friend Eric. This nice little mount will fit perfectly into a Mark IV Supra and allow me to mount this guy here. There's quite a few other components that actually go with all this stuff. I'm going to break everything down for you guys, what tools are needed, what's all included in the kit, and what else you'll need to make this kit complete. I'm hoping to make this as exact as possible, as step-by-step as possible, to make it as easy for you, the end user, to get this done on your Mark IV Supra. So let's go ahead and take a look at everything that comes in the kit, what you'll need for the kit, and what tools you'll need to get this done. Alright guys, here's the actual kit that you're going to be getting or receiving from Killer Koncepts if you order this directly from them. So you'll be coming in this little box here, which has a big beautiful Made in the USA sticker on top. You'll get the bracket, which is the most crucial piece of this all. It comes with step-by-step instructions, which I didn't even realize it would. It's quite a nice little bonus. This makes it quite easy. I've read through this myself already. Tells you the exact tools you'll need and everything else, which I really like that Eric went this extra step. A lot of places don't do this. It comes with a little calling card, as I call it, and every nut and bolt that you'll need to mount down your brackets. Now, this isn't the only thing you'll need. Obviously, you'll need a fire extinguisher and a quick release. I have that here off to the right, and I'm going to go over that too. But I wanted to tell you, this is the exact bracket you'll be getting when you order your kit from Eric. It's a quality piece. I'm going to list all the pricing below. Make this super simple for everyone and make breakdown. I'm also going to link everything to an Amazon account so you guys can click on it and go. There's no hunting for you to do. Make this super simple and make it super easy for you guys to get this done. Next up here, we have the quick release mount. This actually mounts to the Killer Koncepts bracket over here. What this allows for is you can mount this actually directly to the bottle off to the right here. This allows for you to actually have a quick disconnect. You pull the pull tab here. As soon as you release that, boom, your fire extinguisher is right off and you're able to put out the fire that's on your car, maybe in your engine bay. The fire extinguisher, which I'll show you here in a minute, comes with a mount itself, but it's a little bit more cumbersome, and I wouldn't recommend it. As if this is what you're really buying it for, you're truly buying this for motorsports use or in case of a safety scenario or something that could go wrong, this is what you're going to want, because you don't want to waste any time. 5, 10, 20 seconds can mean your car melting down, all your electrical going bad. It's just not worth the headache. I shouldn't say a headache. It's not worth losing your car over a couple bucks. So definitely you need to invest in one of these, and the bracket is pre-drilled for this little guy here. So recommend this thoroughly. Once again, I'm going to list this down below. This is by H3R Performance. It's their extreme duty quick release kit. I'll link everything down below. Like I said, guys, make it super easy for you. But now let's go check out the fire extinguisher over to the right. Alright guys, and last but not least is the fire extinguisher itself from H3R Performance again. This is a 2.5 pound, 3-inch diameter bottle. That's also a crucial part of this, guys. It must be 3 inches around to fit on the quick release bracket setup, and it fits perfectly in the car this way. What you see is what you get. You get the bottle. It comes with this little bracket here, which I was talking about earlier. It doesn't fit that well, makes it a little bit more cumbersome, and it comes with instructions too. Again, not really needed there. All you really need is this little bottle. There's multiple types of this bottle, different nozzle types. There's some that are more expensive than others, but I'm going to link this direct one here below in the comments of this, and make it really easy for you guys. Again, it'll be an Amazon link, so make it super easy for you. So one last thing we got to go over yet is let's figure out what tools are needed to get this all installed. Alright guys, so you're going to need the following tools here. You're going to need a plastic trim removal pry tool, which is that little pink guy here for me, which is actually an old plastic knife. I'm going to trim down and make that work. You're also going to need a ratchet, a 12mm and a 14mm socket, a 3/8 box wrench, and a 7/16 box wrench, along with a drill here that can be a min of 0.25 and a max of 0.375 for the drill bit, and then you'll also obviously need a drill to get this all done. That is all that's needed. The one thing I'm going to recommend also, though, is a number 4 hex key head. This will come in handy when you're installing the one bracket for the quick release to the actual mounting bracket that goes to the seat. The type that are on there is a hex key head style, so that will come in handy. It's not in his instructions, but I've already notified Eric and he's going to add them, so I figured I'd go ahead and let you guys know too. But this is it, guys. Very simple, rudimentary tools that most people should have. So let's go ahead and move on and start installing in the car and do the fun part now. Alright guys, so I went ahead and took the roof off for this one here to make it a little bit easier for me to work on, and number two, to get some better lighting so I can help show you guys this as best as possible. So going right up front here, you'll see I have these little plastic clips to cover the bolts here. You have these up front, and if I hit the front tab here, let the sleeve slide up. Alright, we go out back here and you'll see that you have a cover there. There's two bolts under that one, and then you have a cover here and there's a bolt under there. Now to get these off, you can do it by hand, but I recommend using a small flathead to pry these up. Nothing major is really needed, but just take a small flathead to pry these up, and there should be two 14mm bolts there, one 14 there, and then two 14 holding the two front parts of the seat on. So let me go ahead and pry those up for you guys, and we'll go into the next step. Alright guys, now that that is off, they got one 14mm bolt right there, and then you have another 14mm bolt right here up front. I'm going to go ahead and use my impact to get these off, as that'll be much easier to do. So yeah, I'm just going to take an impact to these front two, and then the three in the back part of the seat. Alright, so let's go ahead and one down, and two down. Get this one here, and this one here, one more, and we're done. That loosens up the seat. Now, there's one other step we have to do before yanking the seat out, guys. Do not forget this step. It is crucial. You will rip out electrical for this. Is the seat belt ding/alarm is underneath. There will be two wires you need to unclip, so I'll show you that here. Alright guys, so what I went ahead and unplugged is this little white guy right here. Connects down here to the harness right above the stock sub. You unplug this here. This is for the actual seatbelt alarm. Well, it'll just show a little red light up on the dash, to be honest. So I went ahead and unplugged it. Now it's time to remove the seat. With it folded up is by far the easiest, and with the top off, it makes this way easier. You can do it with the top on. I repeat, the top can stay on to remove this, but with it off, it does make it a little bit easier and less chance of hurting anything inside the car. And if you're, well, another fellow Supra owner, you know how expensive interior panels are. No one wants to take a chance of destroying any of this nice stuff. All right, guys, next up here is you have two screws on the side here that need to be removed to get this handle off. Then there's a screw in the front and the back of this panel that you need to remove next. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, which I didn't notice or know that you needed until I got further down in the instructions from Eric here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these panels. All right, I now have the side trim off for you guys here. Again, here's the handle you must remove first. Has two screws on it, and then there's one screw here that's right behind this handle, and then one screw in the back of the panel. Then this will slide forward and off, exposing everything seen here on the side of the seat. I also recommend, guys, while you have the seat out and why it's like this, to go ahead and vacuum under the seat. Mine's a little dirty. I've done this a couple times, so I'm going to go ahead and vacuum it. I know I've done it a couple times, but it needs to be a little bit better. Same with this. I'm going to clean up the leather that's under here and get around the edges a little bit better. Just a recommendation on my behalf. All right, guys, now with the seat up in the air like this, you need to remove two of the 12mm bolts, one here on the passenger side and one on the driver's side. Then both will just take a 12mm ratchet and just spin these off. See if I can get that off real quick. Set this off to the side. Holy crap, that's a long bolt. And see about this one too. This one's tightening up on me, boys and girls. There we go. All right, so now those are both off. Next up is actually installing the bracket itself. Now to do this, before we do that, we have to actually drill a hole in the brackets here to give a better mounting point. Now, I actually have the bracket I put it on the back of the front of the seat here because next up I have to drill the hole. You only have to drill one singular hole over on the passenger side or the inside part of the seat itself. What I did is I went ahead and pre-mounted the bracket, put one small bolt here in and one of the bolts over here and to line it up, and you'll see there's already a pre-drill hole inside here from Killer Koncepts. What I'm going to do is take this silver Sharpie, pop the cap off, and mark the inside of this hole. Like so. So now that I know exactly where I need to drill it out inside there using a silver Sharpie, I can take this bracket back off now and drill it. It's going to be a little tight getting in there and making sure I have it on dead straight. But if needed, the instructions do say, like I said before, you can use a 1/4 inch up to a 3/8 size drill bit for this to work. I'm going to try and stay as close as possible to a 1/4 inch, as I want to make sure the bolt and everything sits in there as nice and tightly as possible. All right, guys, went ahead and drilled out the bracket here. I went ahead and stuck in the 10mm bolt here, and then I need to go ahead and put back the 212s in. One thing I want to remind you, this bracket needs to slide in behind this bracket for the seat rail. Again, the bracket from Killer Koncepts needs to slide in behind the seat rail itself here. See if I can get close enough for y'all to see. It slips in right behind there. Looks very factory-ish. Eric did such a good job with this. I was not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna look a little bit worse than it did, but man, he actually did a bang up job. Like, he really overthought this. I know he's anal. He makes me look, he makes me look sloppy. So it's the one thing I love about Eric, man. He really goes that extra mile, and this really does fit well. So next up, like I said, guys, gonna put the rest of the bolts in here. 12mm on both sides that we removed, 2 10s here, the 110 here, and then 12 here. So let's go ahead and put those on, and I'll tighten everything down. One thing I wanted to mention, guys, these bolts aren't 10mm, they are quarter 20 bolts. A 10mm head will fit on them, not a big deal, but just to let you know, these are quarter 20 bolts. 10mm did work on it though. Now, next up, I did this a little different. I went ahead and put the bracket on first. Now you have to put the quick release on. With this quick release, you want to make sure that you have the pivot point closest to the inside of the car. So this will be towards the seatbelt buckle here, just to make it easier to get on and off. So you want to make sure that pivot point is closest to the inside of the car for you here. Only thing you need to do next is put all these screws on, and they do come with nuts on the end. So there's a total of 8. I need to put all those on real quick, and then we'll move to the next step. All right, guys, got the quick release system all set up now. Now what we need to do is put the plastics back on, reinstall the seat, and then we need to put on the brackets that actually go directly to this mount into the bottle up there. It's easier to mount that and get it all done once it's inside the car. It's just easier to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here next. All right, guys, now we have the brackets all mounted on. I just pulled the pull slip out here, but it goes in there. I have the rest of the brackets and everything over here to go on the bottle. Now what we need to do is line up the quick release with the actual bottle itself with the supplied bolts. Once that's all done, then you'll be able to mount it on. I recommend putting in the seat after this just because it makes it a little bit easier before you put the bottle on. So install the seat, bolt everything down, then go ahead and install this. It would already be pre-mounted to this bracket before you do that, and then that'll be it, guys. Super simple. So let's go ahead and get this last bit done, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, guys, got the bracket all mounted up now. As you can see here, all taken care of. I've also got it located perfectly so it'll fit right here on the bracket itself, making it very simple once again. Gonna go ahead and put this seat in now, then I'll actually bolt this back in or snap it back in as it doesn't have any bolts. Use the quick release system here. I gotta put the plastic back on the seat then, and what I'm gonna do with that is just reverse the steps that's in the instructions, and it actually tells you to do just that. Put the plastics back on, and that'll be it. So I can't wait to show you guys with this finished. This is gonna look so cool and be very nice to have as a safety point and safety feature. All right, so I've got the seat back in, everything's bolted down, plastic is back on now. As you guys can see here, the mount looks ever so nice in there, nice and tucked away. If you don't have the bottle on it, guys, look at this. Can't even tell it's there. I mean, it's perfect. Like, I don't know how the hell he came up with this, or it must have taken him a while, because this would have taken me a skinny minute. I'm an engineer, and this is pretty ingenuitive. I really, really like this. So now let's see what it looks like with the bottle on it. So let's go over here and grab that. Go ahead and grab this little guy here. And now this is going to be hard to do with one hand. Let's go ahead and slip this down. Alright guys, now that is what it looks like mounted. This is from the top down view here. Here's from the side a little bit. I think it fits ever so nicely. I'm going to sit in the car here real quick with my man flaps on. It doesn't get in the way. The way the seat's designed, the way this sits down low, I mean, I'm a pretty decent sized guy. I mean, unless you got your feet kicked the whole way up, I mean, this literally fits perfect. I like the way this sits in there. It's better than having it right up here in your eye view. I don't know. I just think it fits very well. Try to give more of an angle here for you guys, but I think that's about it, guys. It turned out really nicely. Again, I'm going to have everything linked below. Anything you guys are going to need will be down there. If there's any questions you guys have, please let me know. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this install, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace!